Hi everyone, Marla Miller from marlamiller.com, presenting another Critique My Query for the Writer magazine, a video critique of query letters that are submitted to me through my email, which is below, and I collect the stack and I try to pull from the ever-growing stack letters that I think will be helpful to all of us and not just the person who wrote it, which is the point of this kind of a critique session. I try to simulate a workshop environment as best as I can with me and my computer and the camera inside. This one is, she's been waiting for a while, since the end of October. By the way, if you have been waiting for a query letter and I haven't gotten to it, you might want to shoot me an email. Again, it's below. And just let me know. And, I do have a stack, but if you give me a heads up, that might, at least help me refresh my memory or take a look and see if it made the stack, etc. They usually do, but all right, I'll stop talking and start critiquing. Do I need my glasses? Yes. Dear Agent, I have been vigorously researching agents and publishing houses that might be interested in taking a look at my first novel, a piece of YA literary fiction completed at 54,000 words. In looking over your bio, I was excited to find what I believe is a great match for my work. I hope you feel the same way. I am submitting to a few other agents, and I'll let you know promptly if my manuscript is accepted for representation elsewhere. Superficial explores the adolescent life and relationships through the eyes of 16-year-old Violet Sanders. Violet is a high school junior living in the suburbs with her single, workaholic mom and overachieving older sister Maggie. The book's simple and straightforward language allows you to see what drives Violet from inside her own head as her private thoughts are splattered indiscreetly across the printed page. In italics. Damn, I meant to wash those jeans yesterday. Whatever, they look clean. Violet is a loving... And then no more italics. Violet is a loving, adventurous, imperfect teenager negotiating friendships, romance, substance abuse, and sexuality as she tries to find a safe place in the world. Glimpses into the lives and thoughts of other people in Violet's life draw us further into her story, with special attention paid to the contrasting worldview of her mother. Mom wants nothing but the best for Violet, yet is totally disconnected from what Violet needs most. Dad is not someone Violet sees as a whole lot, but in some ways she's closer to him than she is to her mother and sister. He's an alcoholic who's been in and out of recovery about as long as Violet can remember. She doesn't expect much from him. It's enough that he loves her for who she is, or at least it's enough for a while. Superficial invites the reader to walk hand in hand with Violet as the omniscient observer to her changing relationships with family, friends, and most important of all, with herself. This novel was inspired by my work as a counselor with adolescents and their families, as well as my own experience as a daughter, wife, and mother. I appreciate the time you have taken to read this query and would very much enjoy the opportunity to share more of my work with you. As I am an unpublished author, I have pasted the first 10 pages of my manuscript below. Sincerely. Okay. I wanted to see how long that took me. There's just a note that I want to make sure that I remember. Okay, what do I think of? What do I think of this YA literary novel called Superficial? Several things. I would say that overall, in terms of the story that she is telling in Superficial, this story has probably been told quite a bit by 16-year-olds perspectives. And, it's a story of a teenager who is, tends to be more enthralled or enraptured with the absent parent than they are the parent who's there day in and day out, until something big happens and makes the child see the parent who's there day in and day out for who they really are, and they usually are better than the kid thought they were. So if that's this story, and my guess is it is, and the reason why I think I might be right about that is because in the end of the first paragraph, this writer says she doesn't expect much from him. It's enough that he loves her for who she is, or at least it's enough for a while. So that made me think, okay, that's that story arc. So do you see if I'm able to draw from that quickly? It's because the story is very familiar. So here's So does that mean I'm saying, oh, superficial has no market? No, of course not. What I'm saying is that what you need to do is get more specific and get more particular, as an old mentor of mine used to say. What is it about this that turns it from something that could be a cliche to something that is very personal and poignant? And that's what I think this writer has to convey in this query hook is tell us more about this girl. Have her tell this story maybe more tightly than she's told it. It's not as important to get the arc overview as it is to let us know what's fresh about this story. Why do we have to know more about Violet? Why would we pick up a book to read 54,000 words about this 16-year-old teenager? I wanted to make sure her name was Violet, and it is. Okay. Couple of other things that confused me. She talks about Violet, it coming from a 16-year-old, which is why it's a YA. That's cool. And then she says that Violet uses her own internal thoughts they interrupt, I'm assuming, or are sprinkled throughout the story. And the internal thoughts are written in I. And then later in the paragraph, she says that she wants the readers to come along, and she uses the word omniscient, observers, and that confuses me. So if it confuses me, I don't know what that means. Does that mean that it's going to be a first person? And if it's a first person, then how does that translate into omniscient? She says that I think that the mother is prominently involved in terms of her viewpoint being shared. So if the mother is involved, then again, how does that fit into omniscient observer and using I? So do you see how many distractions that one very large paragraph has done? It's given a lot of speed bumps. It's offered a lot of question marks to this reader. And if this reader is an agent, I would guess that if they don't have the same ones, they have similar ones. So I would encourage you to, take a look at that, and I would say recraft this query to get more particular. The other thing is that, and again, this is an example. She identifies herself as an unpublished writer, and in the first paragraph, she identifies herself as unpublished in this way. When she lets this agent know that she has sent this manuscript out to other people. And so that entire first paragraph, that doesn't quite look like a first paragraph, but when I send it to the magazine, I'll make sure that I break it up. Just take it out, because you really don't want agents to know that you have been pitching this to other agents. They know that. So those words can be better used recrafting the query hook in this letter. And then the other thing, one last thing, she says that she's sending the first 10 pages because she's an unpublished author. She should be sending the first 10 pages along with the query letter only if that's requested in the submission that each agency has very clearly in their websites. So just look under submission guidelines and then follow to the letter what they ask you to send. I hope this is helpful. Until the next time, be well. Keep writing.